Hi, this is Grandma Jeanette.
And Grandpa Frank.
And we are Christian Baxley's grandparents. We live in Reno, Nevada. We were surprised and delighted last Saturday to get in the mail Flat Stanley and found out he was going to be spending the week with us. We hope you enjoy the adventures that we had with him.
Well, the world is a big place, and let's see where Reno, Nevada is, and let's compare it to where Christian Baxley lives in Arlington, Texas. There we can see Christian's house, and we can see Reno, Nevada. And we're going to show you some of the other places in the United States that Stanley traveled this week. Now let's zoom in on Reno and Grandma and Grandpa's house. And this is where Flat Stanley started his adventure this past week.
When he arrived, it was snowing outside. Flat Stanley was so excited. He looked out the window into the backyard and he could see the snow coming down. He could see the snow falling on the solar panels and he could see it on the picnic table.
He was excited to go out to the snow, but before we did, we talked to him about Reno and Nevada. So let's learn a little bit about Reno and Nevada.
First of all, Reno is 26 miles north of the Nevada state capital, which is Carson City, and it's also close to Lake Tahoe, which is a beautiful, beautiful area. It's known as the biggest little city in the world, and it's famous for a lot of casinos. Reno residents are known as Renoites. And you may not understand how far away it really is. Well, if we were to drive from Dallas to Reno, it's over 1,600 miles. It would be about 17 hours of driving if you didn't stop.
Another interesting fact is that Lake Tahoe that you see over on the left of the state, the border between Nevada and California goes right down the middle of Lake Tahoe. So some of the lake is in California and some of the lake is in Nevada.
Now, a lot of people mispronounce Nevada. Have you heard me say Nevada? Most of the whole country calls it Nevada. But if you ever say Nevada, it means you're not from Nevada. Only people who live here know how to say it and say it right. We also live near many ski slopes. Lots of snow, lots of ski slopes, and Grandpa Frank likes to ski, don't you?
I sure do, and this is a great time of year to go out and ski. Speaking of lots of snow, let's explore the snow that was coming down when Flat Stanley got here.
Ah, look at that snow. It already has increased. What do we have, about 4, 5, 6 inches there?
At least, wow.
And somebody's got to shovel the snow, so sorry, but Stanley, as our guest, got to go out and help shovel snow.
We're shoveling.
Shoveling what?
Yes, we're shoveling snow in Reno, Nevada. It's coming down. We're expecting about 2 feet of snow tonight. It'll be great for skiing tomorrow.
Oh, and then he got cold, so he had to come in and warm up by the fire. So here you see Papa Frank and Flat Stanley hanging out by the fire getting warm after shoveling snow.
Well, one of the other things that you could do when you have a lot of snow is you can go and make snow ice cream. And Grandma has a great snow ice cream recipe. So there we are out gathering up the snow in our bowl.
So here you can see the recipe. We had to take all the milk and the egg and all the sugar and everything and whip it up. You can see Flat Stanley watching there. And then we poured it over the snow. And then you mix it all up and you have to eat it right away. It's really pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good.
You ever made snow ice cream? Because they may not have that much snow in Texas. We got at least, a foot of snow tonight? Yes. So. See? See? And then you eat it. Not bad.
Can you feed our friend?
I don't know if he's going to like it.
Well, the next day is Sunday, And we typically, on Sunday, read the paper. And so Stanley was helping Grandma read the Reno Gazette-Journal. And look at all the snow that fell overnight. It was a beautiful, beautiful morning.
How much snow did we have? About a foot of snow?
About 12 inches, yes.
So then after we got ready for church, then we had to drive to church. The roads were still pretty slick. You can see where the snowplow had come through and plowed a lot of the snow off. But Stanley was still kind of concerned because it doesn't snow that much in Texas. We have a class on Sunday morning that we go to, and Flat Stanley helped us by praying as we began our class. Then after lunch, I had to go to the airport because I had to catch a flight to Chicago on business. So Flat Stanley rode with us, and you can see us going to the Reno airport there. And after we got to the Reno airport, then Flat Stanley was going to get on the plane with me. But then he was all excited because he hadn't been to Chicago before. And here the airplane is going over to Chicago. It's about 4 hours on the airplane. Then after we got there, we had to rent a car and went to the hotel. Notice he's sitting in front of the microwave. He wanted to microwave some popcorn, but I didn't bring any, so we just went to bed. On Monday, we spent a lot of time working in the hotel. They were concerned they were going to get a lot of snow in Chicago. And we all sat down and had a meeting, and Flat Stanley joined us. You noticed that he was an integral part of our discussion.
What'd you do on Tuesday, Grandma?
Well, we had a meeting at New York Life. I work for New York Life Insurance Company, and here you can see Pat, the receptionist, showing Stanley around. Then Tuesday evening, Flat Stanley and I flew to New York.
Now you can see from this picture of the map how far it is from Reno all the way to New York. It's on the other side of the United States. In fact, it's so far away that there's a 3-hour time difference between Reno and New York.
Then the next couple of days I had to work at the New York Life office at Westchester, New York. It's a very interesting drive through Sleepy Hollow, New York. I don't know if you've ever heard of the legend of Sleepy Hollow, but this is a beautiful, quaint little town. And you can see a couple of the roads there and the old Dutch church of Sleepy Hollow that was built in 1685.
1685, that's a long time ago. That's an old church.
That's before the United States became the United States.
Yes.
Then driving on down the road, I turned around a corner, and you can see the sign that says New York Life with an arrow to the right and the New York Life logo sign. This is where I was going to spend the next 2 days working. And then he went and spent some time with the sales desk guys. And they're holding Flat Stanley. We had some pizza with them, too, and they had a great time. And on Friday, it was time to fly home again.
So, Grandma, this looks like the plane you were going to get on, right?
It was. Flat Stanley and I were walking over there. But you know, it was so cold that morning, they had to de-ice the wings.
De-ice? What does that mean?
It means if there's too much ice on the wings, then the plane might crash, and that's not a good thing. So over in the top picture on the right, you'll see a little...
Looks like a crane.
Yeah, it looks like a crane. And this thing drove over by the airplane just before we took off and sprayed all the wings.
And then you got to Chicago.
Yeah, it was about a 2-hour flight. We landed in Chicago.
Looks like Chicago has snow, too.
They had a lot of snow, and they had been plowing all the snow. Look in the picture on the bottom left shows you these great big snow plows that they used to plow the runways at the airport.
You flew first class? Wow. Stanley got to ride up in the front of the plane in first class seats.
Oh, we finally got home, and we're driving in the truck up the way to the house, and you can see the mountains. This is the view going up to our house. We also passed a fire truck, and then the last picture on the right, we're just turning left into our house. Stanley's excited to see all that snow still up there on the mountain. And then we pulled into our house, and Flat Stanley goes, "Well, what happened to all the snow?" Well, it had melted down at our house because snow in Reno, actually the sun shines and melts it off pretty rapidly. He looked out the window in the backyard. There was still a little bit of snow on the patio where you don't get much sun. So that was Friday, and now it's time for Stanley to go home. And we're going to miss you, Stanley. We took our family picture with him, and then we folded up his legs, folded up his arms, put him in the envelope to send him back to you, to Christian, and all of the first graders at D.P. Morris Elementary School in Mrs. Haynes' first grade class. And we thank you for sending Flat Stanley to us.